And Preston, they say all of this is just incredibly bittersweet with regard to the arrest. That's because news of the arrests came as that family prepares to have a funeral for this boy. He was 13-year-old Matthiew Stavkovy. In this saddest of stories, a sudden sense of relief sweeping over those who knew and loved Matthiew Stavkovy.
Big thank you to the police community and all the officials.
Overwhelming gratitude following 9 days of agony and anxiety that Matthew's alleged killers would strike again.
Somebody comes to rob you and you show any resistance, what could happen to you when this happened to people who showed no resistance?
Authorities agreed. KOMO obtained this footage showing heavily armed SWAT teams taking down those two remaining suspects in Covington. The ages of those alleged killers, only 19 and only 16.
What is the motivation why you're even in this place? Why not get a job? Why not work?
According to prosecutors, Matthew died in a robbery gone wrong. They say he accompanied his friends to this Kent Park to participate in an online exchange with the suspects. It's then that Matthew and his friends were ambushed at gunpoint.
There's no fear of nobody or anything. That doesn't happen overnight. How did we get here?
Police say this trumpet-playing, church-going teen was shot in the back as he ran away, leaving behind a grieving, close-knit family.
They don't want to speak. They don't want to talk. They're devastated.
And these latest arrests come days after the first arrest in this case. There have been 3 overall, and 3 at that. By the way, that first suspect now facing a charge of first-degree murder. Meantime, charges against those 2 new suspects expected in the coming days. Coming to you live from Kent tonight, Ryan Sims, KOMO.
Developing tonight in Kent, police arrest 2 more suspects in connection to the murder of a 13-year-old boy. He was shot and killed at Turnkey Park last Tuesday when he and some friends were trying to sell a camera. Ryan Sims joins us tonight. Ryan, what do you know about the 2 suspects who were arrested today?
Well, for starters, Preston, they are very, very young. We're talking about a 19-year-old and only a 16-year-old. That's on top of the other suspect who was arrested a few days ago, who was only 18. So we have 3 suspects facing very serious charges, at least the 2 ones arrested today. They're expected to face serious charges. The one a few days ago is already charged with first-degree murder. They're each young enough to where they can't even legally buy a beer yet. So that says something about this case. Those 2 new suspects were taken down during an operation in Covington, and it seemed like police were kind of fearful, rightfully so, that these 2 suspects might put up a fight. That's because SWAT teams were involved. We obtained footage showing heavily armed authorities going into an apartment complex there in Covington and making these arrests. Again, they were heavily armed. They had body armor on, and so it seemed like police and deputies were aware that this could go south very, very fast, and they used the example of what happened here at Turnkey Park as an example. As we've been reporting for about 9 days now, this whole tragedy happened after, the suspects, they pretended like they were wanting to do a business exchange online with one of the victims in this case. One of the victims, he accompanied his friends here. That exchange was supposed to happen over a camera. It's then that a robbery occurred in the middle of this park. This all happened at 8 o'clock when it was still light outside. And as those victims ran away, that's, according to prosecutors, when one of the suspects pulled out a gun. They already had a gun out, but used that gun, fired shots, and hit one of the victims in the back as he ran away. That victim, it was named Matthew, who was only 13 years old, ran away and was shot in the back as he tried to make a desperate escape out of this park. So this was a tragedy that continues to hit home. We're told that family members are currently planning for Matthew's funeral for this weekend, and they say, Preston, that it really is bittersweet that these arrests had to happen as they plan to do really the unthinkable, having to plan for their son's funeral this weekend, Preston.
All right, thanks, Ryan, for joining us. We appreciate it.